Yay.
Oi.
Hello. Welcome back, everyone, to session 28 of our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. How's everyone doing?
Good.
I'm
Ready
here
to go.
this time.
You are here this time. Hello.
Hello.
Well done.
So, welcome back. Obviously, you have missed a fair amount, i.e., a lot happens in one session somehow. But either way, we're here now. So, everyone is here and everyone is ready to go, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, cool. In that case,
Yes.
let's begin. Let me just get my notes out so I can remember what the hell actually happened as well, because my brain is not a mega mind of information. All right, so I know.
Don't break the illusion.
I'm actually ChatGPT in disguise. I was like a first version long ago. Obviously, newer versions have upgraded since, but the party. All right, so last we left off, you had all travelled to the city of Nerion after your sort of bit of escapade through the city of Harazdan. And when you got to the city of Nerion, you met High Lord Errol Kian, who was preparing for the oncoming siege by a House Ignis army. Part of the same invasion force that you witnessed when you were travelling to Harazdan. One of a sort of detachment of that larger army had broken off and were preparing to cross the Blackwitch River. As a bunch of refugees from the city of Anuna were basically being chased into the city of Nerion. You all wanted to help out with the oncoming offensive and asked if there was really anything you could do. And the response to that was, well, a lot of the elves don't really trust you guys because you just sort of turned up during this moment. But if you can prove yourselves, then maybe they'll trust you. So so the initiative was sort of put in your court to come up with something to do. So at some point there was a suggestion of destroying a bridge, which would be able to cut the supply lines to the Ignis army, keeping them off guard, putting them off guard and able to be surrounded, basically. And that also partially involved going to the city of Essis, where you would grab a force, whatever army they could spare, and bring them through the Scorched Flats, this dangerous desert full of crevasses and ravines, as well as monsters and bandits. It will take initiative to bring an army across that region, but you hope that it will be able to turn the tide of war, being able to pincer the Ignis army from behind. And able to surround them and destroy them before you work out what the hell to do next. So you took a boat and landed just off the shore. You didn't want to take a boat all the way to Essex because you weren't quite sure whether there'd be like Ignis boats in the region, considering obviously they're known for their fleet. You decided to trek it by foot. So this is where we're at. And let's just say you've just spent the night camping. So on the morning then of the 75th day of spring, the weather is hot, and as you wake up and sort of begin the process of getting your stuff together, and you look out at the expanse of the desert before you, there's tufts of grassland. Like, it's not completely dry. There are occasional bits of water sources, and it's more like a dry savanna rather than necessarily a desert. But still, there are like large cracks in the ground, almost where the ground has dried out so much over years and years and years that there's like these ravines and like jutting out bits of mud, which just sort of open up the bits of the ground, and occasionally there are places where if you lost your footing, you could potentially fall in them. And it creates a bit of a maze, a bit of a mishmash of directions to go. Sometimes you have to jump over these smaller crevasses. Sometimes you have to walk around, or take a bit of time out the way to just find your footing across this place. It does slow you down, but you do begin to make good progress. So what's everyone doing when as they are beginning to set off? I think it's just all of you, isn't it? You didn't have anyone coming with you, did you?
I don't think so. Is there any particular reason it's called the Scorched Flats? Like, was this the site of a dragon attack, or is it just because it's dry as fuck?
So last session, one of the people in Nerion, I think it was the captain of the guard, said that this region is cursed, that all the way back from the Age of Gods, there was during the wars against the Titans something that caused this land to be unnaturally warm and dry compared to a lot of the other places of Adana. And a lot of the cultures that have developed in this region have sort of taken on a bit of the they have adapted to the climate somewhat. So House Rexis and House Caden mostly live in this region. But as to exactly what that curse is, no one, as far as you can tell, no one really knows. You can also give me a history check, both you and Hinera, maybe, if you've heard anything else about it. Or religion, it's your choice. History or religion.
I don't think there is history.
Oh, it'd be law, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'll do religion. Probably the same thing. I know nothing.
18.
Yeah, Hinera, the only other thing that you've kind of heard about it is that this is a region that when it comes to rare beasts, there have been historically a lot of sightings of what are known as gully beasts in this area. Sort of earth elemental creatures that are often hunted for their hearts, which are these gem hearts, which carry this powerful dust within them. It's very rare to see one, but that's just something to bear in mind. Like, quite a lot of hunting parties come to this region, and a lot of bandits also live around here because they also trade in that stuff on the black market.
Okay.
All right, so the day begins, and you begin to walk. Is there anything particular anyone wants to do whilst you're traveling?
Cyan's not particularly good in the weather, but he's gonna keep an eye out for any bandits particularly, or any bad people coming along. Like, he'll just be on lookout the whole time.
Cool. Okay. Give me. So you're doing a scout sort of.
Yeah.
You're doing a scout exploration activity, are you?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Give me. So what's your? Sorry, not. Don't give me a perception check. What is your perception modifier?
I think it's plus 14. Or plus 4. I don't know if it's.
You just.
I'm looking at the. Yeah.
So that's the DC. It's the plus 10.
Right.
If your modifier is plus 4, then yeah, your DC will be 14.
Right. Okay.
Is that all it is?
I'm looking at the perception thing on the left-hand side with the.
Yeah. Remember, you can upgrade your perception as well when you.
Yeah, it's at master.
Is it a master?
Yeah. Hang on.
Wait, what does it?
Oh no, your perception is plus 16.
Oh right, okay.
Can you
sorry, plus 14 is your perception, so your DC would be 24.
Can you upgrade perception just from the normal boosts? Or is that only if it specifies?
Oh, maybe only if it specifies. Yeah. Either way, I can't remember, but I'll check that up at some point. Okay, so is it actually 24 is your DC?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. In that case, so you begin the march. It's long. The area. Yeah, go on.
Can I do an exploration activity, please?
Oh yeah. What do you want?
I would like to do sense direction using the compass. That we picked up last session.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a survival check, and then it's plus 7 because of a feat I have.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, you do have a compass this time, luckily.
So that's. Oh, I don't know if the compass does anything as well with that bonus. So it'd be 20. I just rolled a 21. Yeah, 21.
I think a compass doesn't that give you plus 1? Let me have a look. Compass. Hence you sense direction or navigate with a. Oh no, it's just without the compass you'll take a negative. Yeah.
It really seems like a compass should allow you to just go in a direction, right? How does that work?
You think so? I think it's more like so sensing direction when you have the compass. I would say you know which way is north, which way is south, and stuff. But if you're navigating and you're trying to get to a certain place, that requires a bit more thought. If you know you're just going north, but remember you guys you will have a very preliminary map on you, so you'll be like, well, Essis is sort of north if we just generally follow.
Actually, we'll hopefully find a coast. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Keep it on the left. Keep that to the north.
Cool.
Be fine.
So you wanted to walk inland as well, as far as I remember from last session, because you didn't want to potentially be spotted by any boats. Is that still your plan, or did
A
you want to
little
stick?
bit. I think from my understanding it was kind of like a little bit. If we
Yeah,
can.
yeah. Just kind of keep the coastline in sight,
Yeah.
but not so obviously on the
Exactly.
beach. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we can sort of follow the coastline a bit, but not be
Mhm.
spotted by boats that are miles and miles out to sea.
Okay, fantastic. Right, so as you're traveling through the Scorched Flats, can someone roll me a d20, please?
I'll do it.
Yep, go on.
Ooh, 5.
Okay, fine. What does that mean? Who knows? All right, so you begin to. So half a day passes, and eventually you begin to get to a part in the ravine that sort of is like a valley. Sort of, you see like a number of cliffs either side of you, and you sort of begin to descend into it's sort of like a small little crack that goes off into the distance and into the hills, and you can see it in a few hundred meters it begins to rise out again. To go around it will take probably maybe another hour. It seems like a bit of a shortcut. However, the only difficulty is you can't quite make out like whether there's like caves and sort of like little cracks in the cave walls a bit further on. There could potentially be things down there. But also you'd have to go also more inland if you wanted to go around it. Easy, the faster way, or go inland a bit.
Possibly go inland a bit. I don't know. What do people think?
I think in this case, safety is better than haste. That said, there is that great big Ignis army coming, and we don't want to spend too much time.
I mean, how much difference do you reckon it'll make?
I don't know, but we'll need to think about speed when we got the army at least.
Either way, like going inland could still potentially be dangerous. Just FYI. This is you haven't quite managed to spot anything yet that's threatening. But down, you see, like if you scout out a little bit ahead and sort of look where you would be going inland, there does seem to be large mounds of earth, sort of covered, like seemingly something has uncovered a bunch of dirt and then sort of just dropped it a bit further on. There's like a quite large what are effectively molehills or something like that.
Can I make some kind of check to see what I think could probably have done those?
Yeah, make a nature check.
Okay. Hang on. Nature. Oh, God. Nope.
From this distance, it's really hard to make out.
Okay, so the evil caves or the evil mounds?
I would prefer the caves. It is pretty hot.
I am liable to agree with you. We just don't know where the caves exactly go.
It's not necessarily, you're not going into the caves.
Oh, right.
You're going into a sort of ravine, but there are like occasional caves that sprout off it. So you're not quite sure, like if something was hiding in the caves, you'd be walking straight past the entrance.
I think it would be better if we go through the mound way, because then we can get a better idea as to what's around us.
My only concern is that if we are in the open, we are perhaps more likely to meet creatures rather than people, and I do not know, but I fancy my chances more with people.
Kind of opposite. Kind of opposite where I see. People go alert other people. Creatures, they kind of either just run away or attack you. More simple.
Also, people are smarter than creatures.
Are you kidding me? I am good with my tongue. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think a bandit cares more about your tongue and more about the jewelry you're wearing.
It can be very charming.
you could be a very charming corpse.
Nah, so could you be that if you go to the other way? But look, this is the team. What does everyone else think?
Yeah, I'm not really worried too much about bandits. What I'm worried about is, what if there's Ignis scouts?
There could be Ignis scouts the other way, no?
What do you think, Hanira, Henning?
I'm not sure. I think go around the long way.
I'm not a good player. I
The
don't
one that
really
takes
fancy
an hour.
it.
Oh.
Let's split up. Let's see who gets there first.
Yeah, the worst of both worlds.
I don't think this is what you meant by party.
Well, I mean, make a decision.
Well, it sounds like Yasuvar, Hanira, and Cyan have decided the mound way. I think.
That's my
Well,
preference.
I mean,
but I'm not too. All right, Hank. All right, Hank.
Oh, for goodness sake! And just starts walking towards the mounds. But do not blame me when I end up being what did they? The gully beast. Gully beast food. That's the one.
They're gentle if you're
Oh.
trying not to hurt them. I
have
think.
you- have
I've
you
only
seen-
ever seen one dead.
We'll carry on.
All right, so taking the longer way, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you begin to start to go around the east of the ravine area until you sort of begin walking through this this flat ground, sort of muddy, quite caked, hard, dry mud. The cracks in the ground sprawl on for miles. This could potentially once have been maybe a lake or something. It's got quite like a salt flat type appearance to it, and nothing's really growing in this part, except for these large mounds, which maybe there's one every 60 or 70 feet around you. It seems like a constant recycling of the of this sort of topsoil, I guess, of this area. But the mounds, as you begin to approach them and you begin to walk past the first one, it's probably 10 feet across. It's big, like if you were to clear out some of the thing about it, there could be a tunnel underneath. It could be some tunneling kind of creature that pops up every now and again. But that being said, you begin to walk through.
Can
Oh yeah, go on.
I walk with extreme caution, making sure my feet don't make any noise, and advise everybody else to do that?
That'll take. So you'll be going even slower.
Yeah,
And so you'll be moving half speed.
but is that worth it?
Your choice.
Well, any point taking the quick way if you do it
I was
slow.
gonna say, this will now be the long way.
We could just run.
I mean, sure.
Look, I don't know. Look, I haven't
Look,
done
that's
cross
irrelevant.
country in a while, but
So
I'm not sure how far I can run.
You can there's some exploration activities here. There's hustle, which is move double speed. There's avoid notice, which is using stealth.
Avoid notice.
I think it's good if we avoid notice.
And you'll move at half speed unless you have the swift sneak feat, which I don't assume any of you have. And that being said, all of you would have to have it as well. So you begin to move at half speed. So the next few hours pass, and it seems that. So how much speed? So you can probably move about that much. So that for the next 6 hours, you realise that you're not going to get to Essos today. You're probably going to have to spend the night here as the sun starts to go down. But you begin to enter. The sun's not necessarily down yet. It's just sort of beginning to reach the horizon in the distance and set. The sky is turning a sort of golden red color. And as you begin to continue on down this area, eventually the sort of land changes, the landscape changes in that there's these like large rocks and boulders which just sort of are scattered around the place. It becomes a lot more rocky and more hilly. Occasional cliff faces jutting out around the place, and you begin to sort of almost get funneled a little bit in between two kind of large cliff faces. On the final route to Essos, you can decide to push on if you wish. It'll be going into night, or you can camp here before you continue on.
Carrying on's fine. I mean, unless people are tired.
Well, it's your choice whether because if you by the time you get to Essos, you will be tired. You will be considered exhausted, or whatever. But right now, you're at a position where you could press on if you decided to.
If we got to Essos, could we then... See, I think if we carry on at the pace we're going and stay the night, it would be quicker overall. Slow and steady wins the race and all that. If we carry on going as much as we can, then we're just going to exhaust ourselves and then we'll be trailing behind.
Well, I mean, we'll get there quicker if we go there tonight.
Yeah, and then we've got to come back.
Yeah, but, you know, it's not like we would have been turning up and leaving within the hour, right?
True. I don't know how exhaustion works in Pathfinder.
Neither do I.
Oh, sorry.
What's a Pathfinder?
No, I'm asking Mike. Like I don't know.
Mike.
I have to look at conditions.
Right. Okay. Like I'm good carrying on. It's just, you know, I'm worried that we spend too long back in Essos trying to recoup ourselves.
So characters require 8 hours of sleep each day. I wish I had 8 hours of sleep each day.
Yeah.
If a character goes more than 16 hours without going to sleep, they become fatigued. So you'll probably be fatigued on the last couple of hours of the journey.
Okay.
Is that just -1 to everything?
I think so.
And then does that go if we rest?
Yeah,
Or-
once you rest, like, as long as you have a
Okay.
comfortable rest, like you're not sleeping in armor and stuff.
Okay, I'm good carrying on then. We can just pop to Essos and then find an inn, go back in the morning.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Got to,
Sure.
yeah, time's of the essence.
Okay, so you're gonna push on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So you begin to enter this area with the large boulders. It does block your vision really too far in the future, too far in the distance. And Cyan, as you guys are walking down, what sort of order are you walking down in? Because Cyan, I assume you're at the front because you're taking.
So I'm
the
very
lead.
perceptive.
Sure, fine. You hear down in the ravine as you begin to get into it. There's a large boulder, probably 20 feet across, or like a collection of boulders in front of you, which are about 20 feet across. Behind them are even larger boulders, 35, 40. There's a huge sort of bouldery cliff wall in front of you too. You hear something scuffle. It's a strange noise. Maybe behind the boulder. Maybe 50 feet ahead of you. You hear something moving behind it. You can't quite make out what it is. It sounds like something eating something, like a
I pull out my saber and I quietly gesture to the others to stop.
Okay.
And then
Let me just show you what you see.
which boulder is the thing behind?
So over here, this is where you've just sort of walked down this way. And then this is the boulder I was talking about. This is the boulder behind it that you can sort of see the outline of it behind it. You obviously can't see what's in this direction here right now.
Hmm.
So you hear something maybe coming from this direction, and Hank also his ears prick up and he begins to sort of have a bit of a low growl.
Can I maybe stealth around? See
Yeah,
if I can get a better look.
Yeah, roll me a blind stealth check.
Okay. Blind GM roll.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you begin to stealth round. So I'll move you. So you're going this way, right?
I was thinking about going around the outside,
Okay.
like around the other rocks.
Okay. As you get sort of around here, can everyone else make me a stealth check as well, please? Make sure it's blind.
Yes.
Oh, that's not blind.
Keep getting lost.
Oh,
as you buy.
No,
I
yeah,
did
no.
it. I
It's
did it
fine.
wrong. It's fine.
It's okay, it's fine. Okay, so Cyan, the rest of you, I guess, have just stood still. Cyan, as you get around here, you see sort of kneeling down, kind of, a large lizard-like monstrosity which rests on two legs with a very large, sharpened teeth jaw, probably about the size of you. Two tiny little hands and arms which sort of limp uselessly out the front of it. Eating the carcass of what seems to be some sort of like springbok kind of deer, like a desert deer or something. You see the creature itself, it's got a spiny ridged back. Its scales are very much blend into the rocks of this area. A creature that you probably have never seen before, but you have heard about, and you have heard that Adana does rarely have them. What seems to be a large T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus,
Oh,
gnawing down on this animal.
I thought you said it was the size of Cyan.
No, the head. The head is the size.
Oh,
Wait,
those are different, very different things.
Say, this doesn't seem that threatening.
I'm gonna look
This
to the
Cyan-sized lizard.
Cyan's eyes are gonna widen. He's gonna look at Calcifer and he's going to make a little gesture mimicking the T-Rex.
Cass was just like flailing hands, like scratching his head, like.
What?
All right, what are you gonna do, Cyan?
I'm going to hide behind the rock above me.
Okay.
About here-ish.
Okay, so you run over here.
Yeah.
Okay. As Calcifer, I mean, you rolled an 8, so I'll say Hank gives away a little bit of a. I think Hank is growling and his heckles are raised. And as you've been looking over at Cyan, Hank sort of like moved around here. And as Hank sort of began to see the Tyrannosaurus, Hank just starts barking at it.
No, Hank, come back! Back
you
here!
watch
Back
as
here!
The Tyrannosaurus's head rises up and just looks. I mean, Cyan, you don't see it, but Calcifer, you begin to hear like stomping coming around the boulder. At this point, I think it's probably time to roll initiative. Hang on, let me just add you all to a combat.
Can I roll for stealth for this one?
Yes, you can roll for everyone can roll for stealth for this one. As that's what you were doing.
I'd rather not.
Well,
Public?
that is just what you were doing. Like you were trying to stealth. Like that's the last roll you made. So.
Oh, can you not?
Why?
Still.
Public
okay.
roll?
Public roll, yeah.
Okay, well,
How do you-
plus 0.
Yep.
Oh,
See,
How do you change it?
Sorry, I didn't mean
stealth?
to do that. That wasn't helpful.
there's
You
a
just roll
little.
stealth.
No, there's a
There's a
little
drop down.
down arrow.
Change it to public. That's weird.
Well, I can see circumstance. I can't see where
You know where you roll your initiative on the left-hand side?
Yeah. Oh, right now I see it. Now it's on the main menu before.
Roll your initiative on the left-hand side.
Roll initiative to the left
Hand
side.
side. All right, so unfortunately off the bat, Tyrannosaurus seeing Hank, he's gonna just fucking run at Hank, I guess.
Oh God.
Two movements to get there, and then it's just going to just try and jaws down on Hank. Hank is just barking at it as it approaches. 33 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. It's not a crit.
All right, let me just put some music on. I've added some more battle music to the thing, but it's going to be old battle music from the old campaign.
Nice.
So it might be some nostalgia.
Oh.
All right, so 33 to hit. That hits, right?
Yep, but not a
Is
crit.
that a crit? Not a crit. Okay.
His AC is 25.
All right, 27 to hit on Hank there.
That also hits, but not a crit.
No, the damage. Sorry, 27 damage.
Oh, sorry, said 27 to hit.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
72 minus 27 is.
You can click on Hank's token and then put the minus 25 thing on there. Again.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, when I click on his token, no health actually comes up.
Oh right, I might have to assign that to you. Henning, then in that case, you see barreling around the corner, directly charging towards Hank and clamping down on the side of Hank's side, biting into the armor. You see a huge desert T-Rex. What do you do?
I guess I throw a bomb at
Yeah.
Naturally.
Natural
I'm
response.
going to
See,
throw a
that's your
blight bomb at it.
All right. What does it have to do for that?
It's the same thing. It's hang on. I have to hit it first.
Okay.
It's slightly different damage to. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
I throw it at.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that completely whiffs. I guess the sheer terror of seeing a massive monster like that run around the corner. You just throw it in the air. It just goes wide. It hits the side of the boulder. Boosh.
Henning, it's not time to play fetch with Hank.
Still get splash.
Uh,
I think that bombs do when they have splash.
even with a nat 1.
I don't know. We'll figure
I'll
it out.
allow it. I'll allow it.
Okay. I can't
How
remember.
much is
Hang
that?
on.
4 damage, is it?
It's splash damages. Yeah, it's 4. It's 4 poison splash.
4 poison. Okay. It is not immune to that. All right. Is that your turn then? You got anything else to do?
No. I'm going to. Seeing I whiffed it, I'm gonna run. How far have I got between me and him? I could go here. Gonna run to Sion. Run to Sion. I'm gonna quick craft some. Why isn't it letting me move? There we go. I'm going to quick craft for. Oh wait, no, I've already got it in my inventory. I don't need to quick craft it for you. When you run past me, Henry's going to hand out a poison to you. Like, take this one, please.
To who?
And that's a smother shroud,
To who?
which isn't in the forge, but it is on Archives and Nevers. Very strange.
Okay. It might just have not been updated yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you giving that to?
Well, I'm holding out for Sion when they come past.
Oh,
They
okay,
inevitably
fine.
come past me.
Okay.
Sion's just shaking his head a little bit, I guess.
It's like,
Alright.
take it.
Okay. Can I get a line of shot on the T-Rex from here?
If you moved here, maybe
Okay.
here or here.
The problem is I need to get my longbow out.
You would have Calcifer and Henning in front of you, so it would have partial cover.
Right. Thanks, Henning.
Please don't shoot me with this poison.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna come out here then. Because it was rare I managed to actually do stealth for initiative. I'm gonna pull out my longbow.
Oh, actually, I think you can get it without effects without. Yeah, I think it doesn't have partial cover. So I think I think you can get a clear line of shot from there.
From here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out my longbow. drop my saber and fire an arrow at the thing because it's a surprise attack. So it should mean that it's all creatures are flat-footed to me if I roll stealth.
Yeah, so you're already hidden from it, so
Yeah.
that should be fine. And you'll get sneak attack if you hit this as well.
Yeah. 18?
18 unfortunately does not hit.
Fuck. Alright, that's my turn then.
Alright.
Oh, you don't want the police.
Cascus.
Cask's gonna draw his sword cane. Oh, I was gonna take a measurement. That isn't. Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Man, these things. Right, fine. So he's gonna kind of like. How much? What's my movement? 25, 30. Sorry, I had planned this out in my head. Okay, cool. So he's gonna move forward to here. I can stop now. He's then going to Bon Mot.
Okay.
Dinosaur. I don't exactly know what he says. Maybe he like does some kind of weird like dust mating ritual thing. Like he's like
Damn, son, you're so ugly. You're sending me back to the prehistoric.
I don't quite know what it is. Maybe he gets like a red rag out of his backpack.
Oh, you're trying to like underlay.
Oh,
Sorry.
And then he's gonna let's try that diplomacy check.
Okay.
Is that 18?
That does not pass, unfortunately.
Okay.
That is a critical failure.
An 18 is a critical failure.
It is. Is it against will?
Hold on, let me just double check. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check if there's a consequence for critical failure. It's against will DC
So does that mean that will is save is plus 18?
at least, yeah.
Yeah,
so
At least 28.
Okay, that affects what I was gonna do.
So, Cascus now
So
has
your
a
quip is
bomb-
atrocious. You take the
bomb
same
mop.
penalty
Yeah.
as you would have had you
I
succeed.
assume it's success, so that -2 to perception and will saves for 1 minute unless I then make success.
Okay, fine.
But then I'm going to move the rest of my 15 movement to 5, 10, 15.
Okay.
And that's the end of the turn.
All right, Calcifer.
Okay, I'm just gonna shout like, don't think we can outrun this. I'm gonna need some help up here. And I shall run in.
Okay.
And I took fleet, which means I now have 25 foot even in my armor, so I can actually reach it. Oh,
Oh, good
if
stuff.
if it'll actually move my token.
It's moved it for me.
Huh. It's got the circle here, but my actual token is.
All right, hopefully
Is
it'll
it?
catch up. But just
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So that's one movement. I shall raise a shield.
Okay, good idea.
Definitely going to need that. And I shall have. Hank is going to bite.
Okay.
28 to hit.
That misses, unfortunately.
Okay, that's not good to hear.
Wait, excuse.
I will.
Yeah, your do you have a maul or hammer?
I have a flail.
Oh, your flail. Yeah, you go out and you bash it, but its scales, they're fucking hard, man. It just bounces right off it.
That was Hank's jaws.
Oh, Hank's
I
bite,
will
right, yeah.
I will attempt with my flail now.
Calcifer, come on. Oh, no.
No, that's not going to do it.
Yeah, again. So Hank goes to try and bite it. As the creature reels back, you just try and pound it with your flail. Bang! Just bounces right off its hardened scales.
Okay, well, that's it for me.
Okay, Nira.
Okay. I wasn't gonna cast this, but now I'm gonna cast it because I want to use my new spell.
Nice.
I'm gonna cast Phantasmal Killer. Can they make a will save?
Oh,
Nice. 21.
My save DC is 25.
There we are. Okay.
So
Hey.
it fails.
Yeah.
So it takes 8d6 damage.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll just press the cast button.
Ah!
So it's just a regular fail,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
and
So
it's
it's frightened
frightened
too.
too.
Nice.
It's what? Frightened 2. Hell yeah. Minus how much damage? Sorry? 22.
22. Mental
Okay,
damage, if that makes a difference.
That's fine. And it's frightened 2. Okay. Even though it's got a lizard brain, it is not immune to being frightened.
Lizards can be scared. And then I'm gonna like kind of move behind this rock a bit.
Okay. Sorry, just bear with me 2
Actually,
minutes.
can I retcon that?
For your
Just
move.
the movement and do something
yeah.
else.
Yeah, sure.
Can I do what's it called when you find out something about it?
recall knowledge.
Recall knowledge. Can I do recall knowledge instead?
Yeah, of course.
Is that nature?
Yeah.
Fuck
Nice.
yeah!
31. Okay. What do you want to know about it?
Does it have any resistances or like for spell damage?
Okay,
sort
because
of?
you got a natural 20. Its AC is now 27 because it's frightened. And it doesn't have any weaknesses, resistances, or immunities.
Okay.
It's just straight up a baller. Okay.
Cool.
Speed up.
All right. So, describe how your spell sort of what are you doing to frighten it? What are you conjuring with your magical?
What's
ability.
T-Rex frightened?
a
I take a
comet.
T-Rex.
Oh yeah. So you see it looks up and its eyes sort of like widen slightly as you've conjured this from behind here, a larger T-Rex charging towards it. Okay. Hank's done. Oh, I thought I did roll the initiative for this. Yeah, I did. I don't know why the initiative left it. Anyway, it goes back to the top anyway. It was 28. Right, it's the Tyrannosaurus's turn. So it's frightened 2, grip by fear. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So the T-Rex, it is going to use all of its actions to trample. The monster strides up to double its speed and can move through the spaces of creatures of the listed size, trampling each creature whose space it enters.
Oh dear.
So it's just going to trample its way over here. Roar! So Calcifer and Hank, as you begin to just whack it, it utters a deep guttural roar. Actually, it's going to just run straight over here. How far can it go? Here. Yeah. So it's going to run over Hank and Calcifer and Henning and Cascus and land here. So you guys have to scatter. Which way are you going?
Back behind the boulder. I don't know. Further this way.
At least it
How
helped
far
us
back can we
flank.
go?
Just that. Sorry?
Alright.
So you all need to make... So everyone who's basically been touched by that has to make a reflex save for me, please.
Okay, I'm gonna use Charmed Life, which means I get a +2 circumstance bonus to this triggering save. What was it? Sorry, it was a reflex save. Sorry, so +2 to whatever that is. Doink. 28.
Okay, so Henning 33, that's a success. Calcifer 23, that's a fail. Hank 32, that's a success. Cascus 26, that's a fail.
28.
Oh, 28. Oh, actually, let me just double check. Oh yeah, 28 is a success.
Oh.
So that means you're going to take Cascus, Hank, and Henning are going to take half damage.
Okay. I would like to use a Glimpse of Redemption when Hank gets damaged.
Okay, that's fine. So
Which
that's
would then
so
mean, I think then it would mean that it's enfeebled to when it reaches Cascus and Henning, if it matters. Which I think which might lower its DC by 2.
Well, Cascus and Henning both succeed anyway, and it won't make a difference. That won't
Okay.
make a difference on
How much damage do I take? Sorry.
So the damage is 31. So
Okay.
you take half of that, which would be 15.
15.
Ow!
Alright, and that's his turn.
Oops.
You're seeing this absolutely huge monster barrel over Calcifer and Hank and end up in your squares. You both instinctively step backwards. Cascus, I might actually put you here because there's a big boulder there. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, Henning.
It is enfeebled
Go
too,
now.
though.
Oh, it isn't people too cool.
Well, this puts a real shit in my plan.
Ah!
I'm going to quick craft 3 bottled lightnings. Sorry, I've had to change my plan. Right. Bottled lightning. It's really annoying that they keep re-adding this.
Is this Skyrim?
Yep.
It is Skyrim Museum.
Oh no, copyright.
It's okay.
Lightning.
Bethesda's chill, right?
Bethesda
I don't know, I just remember fighting things to it.
It's good music, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
I
Right.
used to use this in the old campaign loads, to be fair.
I'm going to throw the bottled lightning at him. Where is it? There it is.
Well, you have
Oh.
a penalty for that, or...
No, I think because it uses a manipulate action, people within 5 feet of you can opportunity attack. Well, I'm not sure if throwing a potion is actually there's a negative to it, other than you can potentially be an opportunity attack for it. So, but
Well,
it
he's
doesn't
gonna
have it doesn't have
probably-
it doesn't have an opportunity attack. So
I mean, it's probably just gonna hit me anyway if it didn't. So, right. Roll. 32.
32 that hits.
Yes.
Fuck
Oh, why did
yeah.
it roll? Why did it roll? Why did it roll that much?
Two.
Oh no, that is right.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, no, that is right. 16, and it is. Well, it's that +2 should actually be 4. I think that's the splash that it's taking into account there.
Oh yeah, so it should be another
That
one.
should be 4.
Another two.
And it is. Where is it? Description. Something else that goes on. Wait, bottle sun. Oh. Sorry, I put the wrong one in.
Oh, did
I
you?
thought I typed it. I dragged the wrong one in. It should be lightning. Should I just re-roll the damage?
Yeah. Wait. So what is the difference in the damage?
Not a lot. I think they're the same. It's just bottled lightning is obviously.
If it's the same
lightning
damage, if it's the same damage, then we can just use it.
2d6.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I'll
hang on.
Reroll it then.
No, it is different. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that looks weird. I swear that's not what that's meant to be.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll just do it again. I'll have to. I just roll damage. Yeah. Yeah, so 8, but it's also flat-footed now.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. Cool. Nice.
Well,
Everyone.
it should be 10, obviously, because it's the +2 is. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so as
Yeah,
it
it's-
charges towards you, dash out the way and draw out your bottle of lightning. You throw it in the creature's face, and there's sparks of arcane electricity that wrap around its head. It just sort of shakes its head a little bit, stumbles back slightly. It's
Okay,
quite a
and
few-
then I'm going to run away.
I'm running. I'm out of here.
And then shouting at Cyan, if you want that poison, just come get it.
I want to stab it.
Yes, with the poison. Stab it with the poison.
Okay, I'm picking up my rapier.
Okay, that's an action.
Can I drop my longbow? That doesn't take an action, right?
No, that's pretty.
I'm going to equip the giant scorpion venom.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Ignore that.
Yeah, he didn't. He
'Cause that would
didn't
take
make
an
that.
action.
He also didn't make that feed.
Oh,
I was
did
gonna-
he?
I-
I thought
I-
you said that it was a normal thing every
I
day.
meant to give you the smother shroud instead.
Oh, right, okay. Ignore the giant scorpion venom then. Then
Mhm.
instead I'll just step forward and stab him.
Okay. Make your attack.
Okay,
Let's do it.
hang on. Let me just draw and then strike. No.
Ooh,
Balls.
bad luck. Yeah. As you dash into its space, you aim with your rapier to try and find a weak spot, but unfortunately you just prod at one of its hardened scales. Your rapier glowing in the evening sunlight. Cascus.
Cool. So Cascus's weapon is drawn. He's going to do a devise a stratagem. I don't have what's it called? This as one of my investigations, so it's going to cost an action. So first of all, as part of that, I'm going to do a recall knowledge check, which is a nature one. There it is, and it's going to be a +4 to this.
Okay.
Because of the rules, because I'm untrained in nature, so that's 16, sorry.
16 is a fail, unfortunately. Oh, it's actually a critical fail.
Brilliant. What was a critical fail on a recall knowledge check?
It should be that I think you get just wrong bits of information, but
Fine.
but I think you can tell that it's a critical fail. So if I gave you information like, oh, it's actually
Okay.
immune to everything.
Alright.
It's kind
This
of
is
like
a
you,
god.
it's kind of like you give them information, and if it sounds reasonable, it actually gives them information because they know their role, unless you do it as like
Yeah.
a secret recall knowledge,
Yeah.
which would kind of make sense, but I don't know if that's the role.
Yeah, well, I think that's how it's supposed to be done, but
Okay, no worries. The benefits. I haven't there's a few benefits on that I have now, which are pretty cool. If it's a possess, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm going to do the other bit of the device stratagem, which is roll d20, and it's a +15 to whatever this is.
Cool.
That's
28.
my maths. Yeah, 28.
yeah. 28. Well, okay. Are you going to use that for an attack?
What? Can you remind me, Harina, what the AC was that we had earlier?
I think it's 27.
I think it's 25 now.
It is 25 now.
Because of the fine. And he's flat-footed, right? Or is that?
Yeah, it is flat-footed, but
That's including it.
that's including it.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so he is going to substitute it and do it. So I'm going to do the damage roll, and then oh wait, hold on. I'm just going to do my exquisite cane sword. Ignore the numbers and everything on it. Okay, so I'm just going to do the damage roll on it now. Okay, so that's, and then because of strategic strike, it's going to be another 2d6. So roll 2d6. And then because of precise strike, there's another +2 there. And I don't have panache, and that is 2 actions. So my third action.
So that's
sorry,
15
in total,
damage
yeah,
in total.
15 damage in total, yeah. And then for his final action, he's going to do a tumble through action.
Okay.
To come, I guess, like behind it, like this whole turn, he's been doing it, like kind of going underneath the legs or something.
Yeah, it's like a Dark Souls, like, roll, combat roll underneath the legs.
I think tumble through is athletics, right? Or acrobatics. Let me double check. Tumble through.
I think it'd probably be acrobatics.
Uh,
Yeah, attempt an acrobatics check against the enemy's reflex DC.
Awesome acrobatics. I don't know why I moved myself. I think he has quite good good thing. I tell you what, I'm just gonna legend point as well.
Okay.
Crit succeed, a tumble through, it falls prone. Oh my god.
So
There's a regular 23, right? Am
so
I
that's
wrong?
so that would be 20. Wait, so your acrobatics. So you got a 13 plus 10. That would be a success, but because you got a natural 1, it brings it down 1, and then you've raised it up again, basically with a. So that would be a fail.
Okay, so it's a fail.
So that's just a regular fail.
A regular fail. Okay.
Yeah, it would be a crit fail otherwise.
Regular no.
Fine. Damn it, I will get panache. And that's the end of.
Yeah, unfortunately, you try to crawl through, or you sort of attempt to roll through the T-Rex's legs as it's spinning around after being hit by both sides. Well, hit by Henning's potion, but its leg just sort of bashes you out the way, and you don't really manage to get through. Luckily, the tides of fate have decided you haven't got stepped on, which is lucky. Either way, Calcifer.
Okay, so shall let me just recheck my distance. Okay, so Calcifer is going to go to there, so he's just within range of Cascus. Hank is going to go to here, so that he is within range of Calcifer, and also flanking with Cascus. And I'm going to once again raise a shield.
Okay.
And I shall attempt to bonk.
Sorry, I'm going to make myself laugh.
Bonk.
Bonk.
30. that hit.
30, nice.
Yeah.
Not a lot of damage, but 10.
10. Okay. Yeah, you whack the T-Rex on the back leg. It sort of buckles a little bit, and its eye turns around to you and just sort of glares at you. It's got like a ferocious hunger in its eyes.
Yep.
Right,
that is it for me.
All right, Hanera. Seeing your friends begin to surround it, beginning to see the Tyrannosaurus weakened, what do you do? I'm gonna step back.
I'm trying, you're muted. I can hear you talking.
Yeah, I don't want to annoy Mike with my breathing, so I mute myself.
Oh, okay.
How dare you breathe?
I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at level 3,
Magic Missile level 3, amazing.
which is 6.
You did just move.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't mean to move. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, fine. All right. So 6 missiles.
Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, is that it? Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's 37 total.
Yeah, I'm just going through them, just applying them.
It's pretty nice.
Cool. All right, yeah. So your arcane bolts blast into the side of it. The T-Rex is looking hurt at this point. Starting like its scales beginning to open up and wounds begin to expose itself in its flesh. It's looking rather pained.
That's my turn.
All right, it's the T-Rex's turn. Seeing that it's surrounded on all sides, it's going to lash out with its jaws onto Cascus. 27 to hit.
That's going to hit.
Okay.
I will glimpse of redemption this, so it'll be reduced by 7. Sorry, reduced by 9.
Reduced by 9. So 25 reduced by 9 is 14?
Mm-hmm.
16.
16, sorry. 16. That's 16 damage, and it's enfeebled 2 again.
Yep. So it's end of next turn now.
Yeah, cool. I don't need to get rid of it then.
Oh, 16 did you say?
16, yeah. To take 2 more. And then it's going to use another action to grab you. Because it's... that's what it can do.
Yeah.
And then it's going to use another action to fling you.
Oh my god.
So it bites you around the waist. Your armor managing to stop it from completely crushing you, and it picks you up off the ground, and it's going to fling you at Hanera.
Can I cast Feather Falls? So when he's in the air, he just lands and doesn't do any damage. That's my reaction.
if you want to use your reaction.
Yeah.
All right. So, Hanera, you need to still make a basic reflex save as he's being flung towards you. Cascus isn't going to take any damage from that.
Oh.
Fail.
All right, but well, I'll say that you don't take any damage either, but you're going to be knocked prone.
Okay.
Let's put Cascus there, and oh, you're not invisible. Prone. Yeah, so Cascus gets flung towards you. You manage to cast an arcane incantation at Cascus to slow his fall, but he still managed to sort of bash into you and just sort of knock you over. And Cascus, you're prone as well.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's its turn. Henning.
Hello. Right. I'm going to move out from the cover.
Oh, I think it's not Frightened 2 anymore, is it? Is it Frightened 1 now?
I think they
Doesn't
go
say
at the
it
end of
goes
each of
down.
its turns.
Yeah, I think
Frightened
it goes.
down at the end of each of its turns.
Yeah, I think unless otherwise specified.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What is it at the moment? It's got.
So it's Frightened 1 now. It's Enfeebled 2. Is it still flat-footed? Because it's
Oh, that's
flat-footed.
start my turn now.
Doesn't it go down one turn?
I think.
Well, it depends who gave it flat-footed first.
I gave it
It was you, wasn't it? He's not going to be flat-footed anymore then.
Okay.
But he's flat-footed to Cyan and Calcifer because they're flanking.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
I guess I will just throw another bottled lightning.
Yeah,
That
go ahead.
seems to work
Yeah,
quite
go
well. I'm going to make sure it's a bottled lightning.
Okay.
Is ranged flat-footed a thing?
Ah, bollocks.
Won't much on that, but
Yeah, it can be. I think.
So I think you can have flat. Would you mean flanking? Or flat-footed to just ranged attacks?
sorry,
Is it-
I mean flanking.
No. So if you have like a long-range melee weapon, you can flank from afar.
Ah, right, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, that's where I'm getting confused.
But otherwise, you could sort of just have a bow and be like the other side of someone and flanking them technically. All right, so 20. That unfortunately misses.
Yeah, so it's
Henning.
just the +4 splash.
Okay, just a splash.
And then I'm going to. Can I know where Cyan's standing. So can I just try and throw the poison over the boulder to them?
You can. It'll be harder because obviously you can't see.
Yeah, well, you know, we like to take chances.
Okay, go ahead.
Was it
Uh,
acrobatics?
Make an athletic. I say athletics.
Oh.
Hey.
22?
How far is this? Oh,
Fine.
that would still be a fail anyway because remember
Oh fuck!
we said it would be.
The poison falls into my
basically
eyes and I
the
die.
I'll say it won't. Roll me a d20, Henning. Let's see
Alright.
whether it smashes or not. Like 5 or less on the d20 will be it smashes.
Better.
Oh.
Oh my god! Henning!
All right. Well, I guess treat the bolt lightning strike as if it would have hit Cyan then.
The bottled lightning, you mean the poison?
Oh, sorry, the poison. No. Oh, yeah. It does. All right. It won't affect Cyan in that way. Sorry, it's not a poison.
Okay.
It's poison. But it does smash on the ground and seep
Damn
into the sand.
Henning says to smash, damn it!
Just see a
Okay.
vial of poison fly over the rock and just smash next to you.
Right, you should probably
Did
call
you-
out before you do that for next time.
Did you catch it?
All right. Is that your turn then, Henning?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm out of moves.
All right. Okay, Cyan.
All right. So we're flanking. I'm going to try and stab him because I don't have any poison.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. 29.
That hits.
Okay. So also 2d6.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Could have been better.
Yeah, could have been better, but couldn't have been worse.
And then I'm going to do an action to twist the knife.
Okay. What does that do?
Twist the knife.
You deal persistent bleed damage equal to your number of sneak attack damage dice. Oh. So that's 2 persistent bleed damage.
Yep.
How about that?
And then I'm going to try and stab him again.
That's quite useful, actually.
Stack.
20. Unfortunately, that misses. Yeah, you managed to get a good shot in, and twisting the knife, like sort of bright red blood spills out on the floor, begins dripping on the sand below. It sounds quite pained now. It sounds like it's getting quite hurt. Cascus.
Cool. So an action to stand up. Does he have his weapon still in his hand? Okay, if you go prone, do you drop him?
No, that's fine. No, you hold on. You hold on.
Okay. I think he's just going to go back in and I'm just going to do an attack because I won't be able to do it otherwise.
Okay.
It's not going to be that great probably, but let's see. Dex modifier, expert. Nope. Yep.
20. No, unfortunately, that misses as well.
That's it. Pretty
That's
sure.
it. Okay. Yeah, so standing up and getting back to the fight, sort of dusting off the sand from your garments, charging back bravely towards the T-Rex and joining the fray. Calcifer, what do you do?
So I'm going to. Oh no, that's 4 actions. I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to raise a shield. I'm going to have Hank use his support benefit. And then I'm going to bonk.
All right. Bonk.
Fuck yeah.
30.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and he is now flat-footed until the start of my next turn.
Hey, good stuff. Oh no, that's not the right one. Cool. Flat-footed. All right. He was flat-footed to you anyway. Roll damage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the damage. That wasn't the goal, so... Okay, 7.
7 damage. Okay. Yeah, T-Rex is starting to look pretty battered now. We're getting to red territory. Anira. Oh, sorry. Did you have something for Hank to do as well?
Oh, he can attack as well, can't he? Because I use the command and he can do 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can do 2 when I do 1. $29.
Hank, that hits. Hank gets his revenge on the T-Rex.
That's the name of the episode, Hank's Revenge.
14.
Hank's revenge. Yeah, Hank just latches onto the tail of the T-Rex, and the absolutely huge form of Hank is sort of holding the T-Rex back a little bit as the T-Rex is just flailing around with the party.
Tug of war, like we practiced.
Tug of war, exactly. Yeah, Hanera.
I'm gonna so how does the incapacitation trait work? And with my it's if they're a few levels above me, or above the spell, they get one like bit above.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if they're double the level of the spell, if they're like monster level is double the level of the spell or more, then yeah, they treat everything as being 1 stage higher.
With my nature check that I did earlier, can I know what level it is?
Or
is that too metagamey?
It's yeah. I'll say you can probably you can probably know that it's level 10.
Okay, I'm not gonna cast that then. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at level 3.
All right, go ahead.
It's my signature spell.
Yeah, definitely a good one for higher level things.
Yeah, what? So that you don't just like one shot fucking boss monster.
Oh, I was I mean that too, but yeah, I was saying like magic missile against high level stuff. It's like they're pretty hard to hit.
Yeah, I mean it's probably one of the most consistent sources of damage, like in that regard. Because everyone always talks about how spellcasters can never hit anything, never do any damage with any spells. It's like, yeah, just choose better spells. Oh, it's so low.
Oh, that's just not the goal.
You watch as the T-Rex begins to teeter off its feet as again 6 more blasts of potent magical energy smash into the side of it. Like one of its arms is half hanging off. I don't think it even foresaw that potential amount of damage coming towards it. Hasn't even got a chance to run. Well, actually, it does have a chance to run. Well, you have one more turn. Oh, it does take the bleed. Oh, 2 damage. That is exactly how much it needs.
You're kidding.
The last of its blood.
Let's give that to Hanira then, I guess. Hanira, how would you like to kill it?
Magic missile straight in the mouth as it's
Yeah,
rolling.
okay. So you watch as for a moment you think, did that just survive that? Like that, the amount of blast that just came out of you. It turns around to you and it opens its jaws to take a big bite and then just falls on the ground, dead. Right. Okay. So that is the end of the initiative. You watch as the magnificent large creature, once the master of this land, now have been resigned to a hunter-gatherer scavenger in the deserts of Adana, falls to the ground. Potentially, now there's a period of safety.
What was it munching on?
There was like a sort of deer that it caught,
Oh yeah, that
half
beast.
eaten deer. But as it bleeds into the sand, you watch as the sand sort of goes darker and darker shade of red, and then finally its last breath escapes as it just sort of lies there.
Cassius, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I think my head took a bit of a spin.
Do you want me to heal you? Can patch you up?
That would be most appreciated. I must apologize. I was not all useful there.
No. It's you did what you could. Sometimes it just happens that way.
13 healing.
That is much better. I think the rest will be I can take.
Did you still plan to continue on to Essos?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
that's fine.
I'm going to use heal animal on Hank.
Let's say caskets or some food.
Okay. What does that do? Oh, good stuff.
Does. Oh, that's slowed down. Wait, that doesn't look right. Why is it rolling so many
Can't be
dice?
plus 32.
Because you've
right?
high speed at +3.
Oh, did it? Wait, what?
Item plus 3, yeah.
Is focus 4 that you've put
I mean,
on there?
that is correct, right?
Oh, right, yeah. So
Wait, is
high
that
speed-
right?
Yeah, that might be right then.
I guess because it's for
Wow.
healing an animal, maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
in
think it's a
Pathfinder,
bit more, yeah.
a lot of healing spells are a lot, because a lot of the things just do a lot of burst damage. So
Yeah.
you do heal a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1d8 plus 8 per level, and
Well, there we go.
that
51.
wasn't even that wasn't even like a high roll. Wow. Okay, nice. Yeah, he's back to full.
He's got +32.
Yeah.
Pathfinder just doesn't want your animals to die, your pets to die.
There we go. So Hank is back to full. So you're going to continue back on, are you?
Yeah. I'll lay on hands myself as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, let's carry on.
I'll move you all back to the region map. All right, so patching yourselves up for a brief moment, taking in the fact that this monster just attacked you. Just another day on the way to Essos. But now, you know, you sort of have an idea of the sort of danger levels involved in the Scorched Flats. You begin to march off back towards towards the city of Essos. And as you arrive, quite late after dark now, the city itself is lit up with a whole bunch of torches and sort of magical arcane lanterns in the distance. You see the sort of a coastal city, sort of larger, you think, than Nerion. Maybe it's about the same size, but it doesn't seem to have any problems with any armies attacking it or anything. A lot of the city seems to be, as you approach it, there does seem to be a large presence of soldiers on the walls. They might have been alerted to to something. But as you approach the city walls, a couple of elves shout down from the top in Elvish. What is your business?
We come from Nerion.
You hail from Nerion.
Yeah.
They sort of talk amongst themselves. We are currently at a time of war. Forgive us if we do not trust you.
I wouldn't expect you to be perfectly honest. We've come to request aid for Narian.
They talk about amongst each other even more, and eventually the gates begin to open. Like a squad of maybe 5 or 6 elf footmen, kind of guards, come out, along with what seems to be an elf noble, just dressed in sort of fine clothes. He approaches you all and says, "What news from Nerion? Are they okay?" In Elvish, yeah.
I'm gonna translate to the others.
Okay.
What happened to the others? Well, you know what happened.
The Ignis armies are marching on Nerion after taking Anuna. Is that how you say it? Anuna?
He says, then our fears are confirmed. We thought that House Ignis would have betrayed us. They've completely gone round our defences.
That's why we require you. We're hoping of destroying some form of bridge to cut off their supply lines. But we would need the aid of some of your fighting men.
Very well, come with me. I'll take you to the High Lord. So he speaks to a couple of the guards, who then escort you down the main street of Essis. The street itself it seems rather conservative. There's not that much in the way of markets or like bright colours. Most of the houses are sort of a muted grey kind of stone that has it was once white, but this hasn't been maybe looked after also well. It looks like a military city. It looks like a city that stations a lot of troops, and a lot of the economy is based around the troops that live here. You can imagine that Essis was like the front border of against a state that they were very untrustworthy of, so they had stationed quite a few troops here. And a lot of the people who live here reflect that. A lot of blacksmiths, a lot of sort of military cloth weavers, and people making scale mail and chain mail just in the streets, preparing the army for battle. They're working all through the night as you're dragged through the centre of the town. Eventually you get to the main palace. Again, compared to Nerion and the other cities you've been to, it's not all so big. It looks more like a fortress. It looks like maybe the city of Essis was once a important port / military installation that a city has sort of grown around it over the years. But the city itself, the palace itself, it seems grand enough. The flags of House Rexis flying. Although the House Rexis is sort of like a rhino kind of creature. The flags here are sort of like half and half, a bit blue and half purple. It seems to be slightly different to the flag of House Rexis, but the animal is the same. As you're brought up to the main palace, the person you're with speaks to a couple of guards and says, "They will take you on now. I will see you all later." And he just fucks off. He just disappears.
Okay.
And the guards take you into the main palace as a quite old, burly elf has a whole bunch of people around him. They're talking amongst each other. There's a whole bunch of members of the High Lord's court in the area as well. He looks up, and you're introduced by one of the guards. Have you given your names to them?
We can do.
If you wish. The High Lord looks up and says, he speaks a little bit of Common, but is mostly in Elvish. So whoever is translating, he says, I am Arian Calrexis. I am the High Lord of the city of Essus.
Sorry, is his name again?
Arian Calrexis. I'll put it in there.
I'm back.
Okay. Yeah. So he introduces himself as Arian Calrexis. He's the High Lord of this of this city. He says, "I hear that you have news from Nerion. What is it that you bring? It is funny that High Lord Errol Kean hasn't sent more trusted allies to bring this news, rather than the band of strangers."
We can bring. Are you okay to translate?
Yeah, I'll translate.
Greetings, High Lord. Calrexis. He kind of does a deep bow. Our presence here today is nothing short of the sign of the times that faces you all. I know this is a little unorthodox, but we come bearing a message from High Lord Aeon Galad.
Galad?
Is it Galad?
No,
You go
Errol Kean.
Nerion.
Errol
Errol
Kean.
Kean.
Wow. Wait, what is it? I've got it on my notes.
And Galad is Elamrion.
Fine. Is it? It is. Okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
My bad. Apologies. Sorry, I have my names mixed up in there.
That's okay.
Um,
I had to double check my notes then because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's.
No. Okay.
It's
fine.
going to happen more and more as you go around the various places.
Why does each town have to have somebody?
Why can't they all have the
I
same
know,
name?
Yeah. And he shows the note. I suppose, or like passes it to an attendant. We appreciate you are guarding the northern boundaries of this territory, but it seems that the armies that you seek to prevent coming through are in fact south already. The armies of House Ignis are marching into Nerion as we speak.
Yes, that was what we feared. Seems that House Caden has no sense of loyalty to the Order of Adana, or the Padron. They seem to have allowed House Ignis army to pass through the mountains unopposed.
It seems that way. But what we ask is that you consider sending men to south. Can I do a make an impression, by the way?
Yeah, you can make an impression, that's for sure.
As I'm translating, can I aid?
Yes, of course.
Nice.
So that'd be a diplomacy check for you as well, Cyan.
Okay.
You need to be at DC of 20.
26.
Cool. So that's a +2 to Cascus's diplomacy.
Adding some flares and some flary language that would engender them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the translator is also a political force, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, so you speak to him. He sits down a little bit and rubs his chin and says, "Well, I suppose we do need to go on the offensive. I was thinking we make an attack of our own into House Caden lands."
I appreciate your
Boldness?
boldness, perhaps, but perhaps it would be more prudent to consolidate in the south before heading north. There are, after all, a number of troops scattered across the south that, when together, it could perhaps be particularly deadly. They would no doubt, they're not particularly expecting an attack from you to the north, and their men are not necessarily easily able to leave these lands. They could become trapped if you struck now.
Yes, that could work. He mutters something to some of the generals nearby. He says, "You overhear him, Hanera and Cyan saying, 'Make it so. Put the plans in place. Try and get 10,000 men together. We'll march south with the guidance of these people.'" As a couple of the guards begin to sort of run away and begin to make those plans put into action. Hanera, you hear a voice in the far side of the room, a voice you recognize from home, saying, "Hanera, is that you?" You turn around and you see a loyal knight of your mother, loyal to House Trisfair. Tor Velkane is his name. He's a tall elf, probably stands about 6'1", 6'2", with kind of broad shoulders and a sort of slim but quite muscular build, befitting a sort of seasoned warrior. He's got a chiseled face, and it bears the marks of countless battles, with this prominent scar running from his left eyebrow down to his cheekbone. You see his hair is cut short and jet black, and he has a beard that is sort of kind of grown a little bit, like a bit of stubble that has from sort of a few days of traveling. Clearly, he hasn't managed to keep it that well trimmed, but he's got these piercing blue eyes set deep within their sockets. And he's currently wearing this black cloak with a brooch on it, which bears the symbol, the sigil of House Trisfair, and is drapes over what seems to be quite comfortable robes. And although he wears a belt, there's no sword that hangs at his waist. But he carries himself with a sort of quiet dignity. He approaches you. Hanera, I did not expect to see you here, my lady.
Yes, I'm just here on regular business.
This is a dangerous place. Your mother would not be happy to have heard that you are involving yourself in the politics.
Oh, I don't represent the Trisfairs anymore.
I understand. We should talk. We should find some space outside of the prying eyes of whoever might be around here.
Okay, don't you have to go to war?
I am on a different mission. I am only passing through the city.
Okay. Yes, we can talk.
Very well. I will make the arrangements. There is an inn that I am staying at currently. It is just on the main street. It's called the Barrel of Wine in Elvish.
Is he in Elvish part of the name?
It's just the Elvish translation. He says, he nods to you and nods to the rest of the party and says, and he then bows deeply and says, "My lady, I must make my leave now." So he goes. After a while, the High Lord returns back and a few guards and says, "Very well. We are making plans to get a force together for the trip south. We will take control over this command now."
One more piece of passing advice, perhaps. But we were perhaps considering destroying the bridge along the Blackwatch uplands.
Destroying the bridge. That is our last lifeline to potentially reaching Anuna and defending it.
True. If you felt like your men could reasonably defend the bridge from any force, then perhaps we would not need to, but it was just a suggestion we thought might be handy.
Anuna has already fallen as well. Went down without much of a fight. There was a traitor. Let him in. If you reach Anuna, it's a siege, not a defense.
Then that will be something we will have to think about second. Very well. I will bear that in mind. Please, make yourselves comfortable. Any friend of Errol Kearns is a friend of mine. And you, my lady, Hanera Trisfair. I did not recognize that it was you until Torvel Kane pointed it out. You are also welcome here. Your mother is a great ally to our house.
Thank you.
All right. So what is it that you want to do in the city? I mean, you've just spoken to the High Lord. He seems to be on point. Like now that you've given him this information, he seems to agree with you that this is probably a good plan.
I think first port of order is finding somewhere to fucking sleep.
We could go to the Barrel of Wine.
Where is that? Or rather,
On
how
the
do you
main
know about
street.
that?
That guy, he just told me about it.
But I
Okay.
have heard that as well.
Yeah, you heard that Hanera and him did speak. You know that clearly he knows Hanera and Hanera knows
Yeah.
him.
But I didn't hear the barrel of wine mentioned, or...
Make me a perception check, I guess. Actually, Hanera. Actually, no. Wait.
I would have just told them anyway.
Fine. Yeah,
Okay.
if you're not hiding it.
Well, be careful. His regalia, his colors sure did look unusual.
They're red and yellow. That's my house.
Curious why Chris Fair is so far away from, if I recall where you pointed it on a map.
Cadell said to fear elves with no swords. Is he a shade wielder?
I don't know. I'm gonna assume that he is.
Make me a society check, Hanera.
Okie dokie.
You know that there are a few shade wielders in your mother's service.
22.
Yes. All right. So the information you know about him is that he is a highly regarded warrior and one of the most loyal, enforcers of your mother, of your house. That he will just go on missions and do things for the House Trisfair. He is not only just a shade wielder; he's also he's a full shade wielder, which means he has shade steel armor as well.
Badass.
I just casually met him.
Jingle let us borrow it.
He's probably one of the most most seasoned warriors that your mother has in her service.
Can I, just because I was kind of a few feet away from that conversation, so I didn't understand it, can I use this new thing I have got called Biographical Eye? So I do a... Oh no, wait, would you reckon I was 1 minute within his presence?
Yeah. What's that?
So I need to do a DC 30 society check.
And what's that do?
So, a success, I learn the creature's profession, speciality within that profession. You learn the national settlement where they normally live. Pick up a subtle social and visual cues. Learn basically learn more about them. You pick up, you notice bits of green under the person's fingernail, determine they're a herbalist. Blah 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 blah. That type of stuff. Let's give it a go. That sounds like quite a fun ability. Society check.
Society.
Yeah.
We live in one of those.
Keen recollection.
Someone had to say it.
I don't think I have that. Oh no, I just want to double check if I have keen recollection. Yeah, sorry.
My next character is actually a clown who doesn't like society very much.
Don't clowns rely on
32.
society?
That's a 32.
So,
Yes.
can you? Is there any way that you can? What's the name of the thing?
I can just copy the text if that's
Yeah,
useful.
copy it over for me, just so I can have a quick.
Or can I not? Oops, sorry.
What's it called?
Oh, I've just put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But you can all look at it.
So that's just a regular success, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. You know his profession is a shade wielder, knight of House Trisfair. His specialty is that he's a
Badass.
and the nation, a settlement where he normally lives, because it's House Trisfair, he's probably from
I realize
that part of the world.
Great use of it here, but that's okay, guys. We live and learn.
I have Sherlock Holmes vision.
Yeah, so much so that I managed to pick up the exact same things everyone else did.
Amazing.
Okay, fine. But that I have that
No,
now. So...
fine. Yeah, absolutely. That is cool. That is... Okay, so do you want to head to the Barrel of Wine, did you?
I'm just gonna go to the toilet.
Okay, let's have a break
Which
there
I
then,
could-
shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a quick
Cool.
break. Come back like 10 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you in a little bit.
Say it.
wet puddings.
Hello, welcome back. So just before the break, the party had arrived at the city of Essos after being attacked on the way there by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. There you go. That's the thing. So you arrived at the city of Essos and you met the High Lord, whose name's Arian Calrexis, who seems quite impressed with your idea to send some troops down. So he's taken command on that, and probably going to take all the credit as well if it succeeds. You also met a knight that was loyal to Hanira's house. Tor Velkane is his name. Did I put it in the chat?
You didn't put it in the chat. I don't think you did anyway.
Oh, there you go.
That's not how I
Who
expected.
explained to Hanira that he was on a mission that was just taking him through the city, just coincidentally, and to meet Jarl at the Barrel of Wine, an elven inn, where he would explain more. So you are headed there. The inn itself is, again, in one of these pristine kind of elven buildings, made from what seems to be a combination of maybe some sort of elven concrete and maybe marble. Again, it's still got this kind of grey hue to it, but the inn itself it looks comfortable. It's got a sort of magical fireplace in the corner as you enter, with blue flames. Giving out not a massive amount of heat, but a sort of interesting vibe to the room. A couple of soldiers sort of sit around, just drinking what seems to be mostly wine, eating occasional bits of like bread that are brought out to them. There are a couple of locals sat around, like an old elf who's just telling stories in the distance, as well as what seems to be just a guy just minding his own business. An elf again, probably about middle-aged. The barkeepers seem to be a group of a bunch of elves who all look the same. They maybe twins or brothers, maybe 3 or 4 of them, triplets, quadruplets, can't quite tell. But they're all rushing about, providing orders for everyone. As one of them notices you all enter, he sort of just gives you a double take, seeing the non-elves enter, and then he points over to an empty table for you all to sit at.
Okay.
I'll be with you in a moment, he says, and he goes behind the bar. You hear them talking over. So Cyan, you overhear them in the back room saying, "There's humans. There's a human here, and a green person, and a dog." And so yeah, there's a bit of a interesting conversation. Like a few of the barkeepers open the door and sort of look out towards you all, and then quite obviously just sort of glaring at you. But after a moment, one of them arrive. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Hang on, I need to sneeze. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Bless you.
I could feel like
That was like a bullet in my ear.
one of the barkeepers comes over to you and says, "I am Selinar. How can I help?"
Rooms. Something cold to drink.
Something cold to drink. Anything else? He says this in common, recognizing that there are humans around.
Firstly, I would just like to say your common is very good.
Why, thank you. We do occasionally have some travelers pass through the city. It is a port city, after all.
How are travelers seen here? If you catch my drift.
Generally not trusted.
To the extent where you plan to throw us out at the slightest sign of notification, or call the city watch on us because we do something slightly off, or just
It is our responsibility as innkeepers to provide a place of safety and safe passage to all travelers who may enter. If you were to do anything to threaten that peace that we ask for, then of course. But as it stands, there is no reason to distrust you. if you are not distrustworthy.
Good. I would expect nothing else than that. Thank you. Just some meat, please.
As for the rooms, we do have rooms available. As for the laws of hospitality in this land, all stays are free.
Sorry, to stay here is free.
It's free.
Are you sure? There's no catch?
Laws of
cat-
hospitality.
The catch is that you are to be a person of good standing within the city, and there are privileges that go by with that. If you are able to stick to our rules and our laws, then there are many privileges which are afforded to you.
Is the same in all of these places across Adana?
To take on an inn,
Oh, your hearing is very good.
to be an innkeeper in our land requires a level of patience. This is my home, and this is my brother's homes, and we take in anyone. There is no one who tells us who we can or cannot take in. We do not do it for the money, we do it for the love of it.
It's just Cascas is just kind of stunned.
He says, as for food, you will eat what we have been provided, which is our standard fare. I'm sure that you have been to elven cities before.
I've been to a couple elven places. I've been to a lot, but the others not so much.
Well, there is a serving area just over there. He points over to the corner, and there's a sort of just like a table with like a bunch of just bread piled up on it, and some like skins of wine, some water. Should see that will feed you, keep you full.
Hey, you got any meat? He just kind of like looks over to Hank.
There's not much meat in this land, and as elves we do not farm. So unless you have caught anything and wish to provide it with the rest of us, unfortunately our rations is all you are able to have.
Right. I heard those, do you get these from the X-Weave?
We do, as all of our food does.
I heard it makes blood as well.
It does, however the High Lord, when he does his monthly gathering of the Hexweaves and provides food to us all, does not tend to supply us with blood. Unsurprisingly.
Fair enough. You ever had a blood pudding? It's not that bad.
It sounds like a disgusting combination of things.
Oh, if you are looking for meat, there is a dead dinosaur about, I say about 3 hours out towards the large ravines. I'm sorry, my detail of the area was not great, but I'm happy to tell you in more detail.
Probably a little
Yeah,
bit crispy by now.
If I'd realised, I probably would have brought that with us, yeah. At least some of it.
Well, if you are looking for rooms, you will be happy to hear that, yes, you probably wish to get some rest. We do have them ready now.
That would be lovely.
Right.
Very well, I will show you to your room. He takes you upstairs. There's a whole bunch of what seem like dorms, kind of like almost like a hostel. There's just a whole bunch of single rooms, maybe about 20 or 30 of them, all next to each other. You hear the sounds of some people. Like some people just have their doors open, and you can see like the soldiers just like resting. A few people just as you walk past through the main hallway, you see into a couple of the rooms. Some people like sat at desks writing, mostly women. And one of them you see the door is closed, but it has the sigil of House Trisfair on it, like a little bit of a cloth. You can tell that's probably where Torvel Kane is staying.
Okay. I'm gonna get settled in my room and then go and knock on the door.
Okay. It is quite late at this point. Torvel Kane was
time?
basically heading out from when you arrived. So it was probably about 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. when you arrived.
Oh, right, okay. I'll go to sleep then and talk to him in the morning.
Yeah. Very well. Is there anything anyone wants to do during the night?
Not really. Just kind of
Right.
collapse.
If people need more healing than a long rest will provide, then I will sort of take some time and lay on hands people.
How much does long rest give again?
It's like 3 times your... Was it 3 plus con times your level, I think?
Oh, I'll definitely be max health after a long rest.
Yeah,
I'm only missing 15 HP.
I'm setting it up.
Oh, that's fine then.
Throw the rest in there.
Yeah, it's a comfortable long-term rest in here.
Cool.
Very well. Okay, so the night progresses. You don't have that much in terms of distraction. You manage to get a good night's sleep. After sleeping kind of rough in the scorched flats for a while, you still find the occasional bit of sand in your clothes and your boots. You shake them out on the floor, and a bit of sand just trails out. As well as the occasional like scale that is just embedded within weapons and armor, and just cleaning these things off takes time. But you manage to wake up in good order the next day. Probably slept in a little bit, so let's say about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So yeah, what? So on the so it is now the 26th day of spring. What would you like to do?
I would like to just pop downstairs, grab something to drink, something to nom, and just kind of sit at a corner table. Long day, want to get as much rest in as I can,
Very well.
kind of thing.
Hanera, you said you wanted to knock on the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so getting up and about in the morning, you knock on the door. After a moment, you hear a scuffling behind the door, and opening up, you see Torvel Kane, well dressed as always, wearing a sort of comfortable robe that sort of kind of covers his hands. It sort of seems to be made of silk, perhaps, in the colours of red and gold. You see his black cloak sort of neatly folded up on a chair nearby. He says, "My lady, thank you. I am sorry, I have not dressed appropriately for your presence, but how can I help?"
You wanted to talk to me?
Aye, yes, of course. We can talk downstairs. I have a good rapport with the people down there, and it shouldn't be too busy.
Okay.
And I have information that I think your friends would like to know as well, if you trust them.
Yeah.
Very well. So he leaves you. You leave him a moment just to get ready and go downstairs with the rest of the party.
I'm going to have something to eat.
Cool. Yeah, you meet Cyan down there.
Nice soggy bread.
Yeah, as the rest of the people begin to. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the elves actually around this part literally just do dunk their bread into like goblets of wine and just eat it like that. Just add some flavour to it. But the rest of the party, they all descend down the stairs as well. And eventually, you eventually all meet up.
This is swigging alcohol from a little hip flask as he comes down. He looks like he's had a really crap night.
Okay.
You want to reapply your makeup there, Cascus?
Benny. He kind of just like collapses into a chair, kind of pinches his head slightly, and just tries to shake it off a bit.
You been drinking or something? Well, of course you've been drinking.
I've been drinking every day we've been here.
Well,
Why are you drinking so much?
Can we just get to the business of the day, please? I've just had it up to here in my dreams. I do not need it in the morning too.
Okay.
As you sit around, eventually Torvel Kane enters the room. He doesn't say anything. He just sort of gracefully kind of glides over to your table and sits down in quite a quick space of time. It's not like he's rushing anywhere. It's just he moves really gracefully. Like he moves quite silently as well. You don't hear his feet as they walk across the ground, and he just sort of sits next to you. He says, "Hello there," in sort of kind of broken common.
Hello. You can speak in Elvish if it's easier. And my friend here will translate our conversation, won't you?
I give him a little tiny wave. Hello.
Very well. I am sorry for my common. I will speak in Elvish from now. He says, in Elvish, my lady, I am, again, like I said yesterday, I am surprised to see you here. But it feels like fate might have brought us together somehow.
Oh no.
Science eyebrows are gonna kind of shoot up a little. And he's just gonna kind of lean on his elbow and smirk at it.
He raises an eyebrow at that. Says, not in any strange way, I'm afraid.
Cyan looks disappointed and returns.
I am, as you probably know, my lady, happily married.
Cyan.
And have multiple children. He says, although I have been assigned a mission which will take me away from the city soon. I thought that you must know about it, as I am loyal to your mother and therefore loyal to you as well.
Okay.
It is a mission that your mother sent me on. I am about to depart into enemy lands. Well, now that we know is enemy lands. When I left our territory, we had heard rumors of a potential power struggle within House Ignis. I made my way here as quickly as I could, and staying here is when I first heard about the attack. But the rumors were about the rift within House Ignis. We heard from an important source within House Ignis that High Lord Terranar Ignis, the current leader of the house, and his eldest son, Duranda Ignis, have been at odds with each other over the direction that the house should take. Duranda is said to have grown, let's say, more ambitious and more power-hungry in recent years.
He's a bit of a dick.
He has been recognized as one as such, yes. And he has been seeking to expand the influence of House Ignis at any cost. Some whisper that he even covets the position of High Lord for himself. Meanwhile, Terranar is said to have grown increasingly concerned with the well-being of the realm as a whole. And we heard this rumor that he was considering an alliance with other houses that he otherwise wouldn't have been interested in dealing with, including our own, in order to counteract the growing threat of House Kaidos. Whatever the truth may be, it seems clear that there are high tensions within House Ignis, and the outcome of this conflict could have far-reaching consequences for the realm. Your mother suspects that, well, would suspect that this attack that has taken place was ordered by Duranda Ignis, with the consent of Daeron Kaidos, in order to push Terranar further to their side. My goal is to make sure this power struggle does not end in the death of the High Lord, as he is our last hope for lasting peace, as shocking as that sounds. If Daeron was to become High Lord, then this realm may as well burn to the ground.
Okay.
So
is Duranda Terranar's son?
He is his son, and he is his eldest son and heir.
So
he could just wait for him to die.
Elves
could
live a
do.
very long time.
Yeah.
You could be waiting a while.
So, are you going to try and stab him a bunch, or?
My original goal was to try and facilitate a line between House Trisfair and House Ignis through Terranar Ignis. That is what my goal was when I left. But now, hearing about this attack, I feel that I am running out of time. I would stay and help defend House Rexis, but I feel that this mission is more important.
You're not going to marry Cecilia off, are you? That's not your goal.
He says no. Make a
Motive.
sense motive check. Thank you.
What's that one?
It's
diplomacy.
diplomacy.
Can I do it as well?
It's perception, isn't it?
You can. Yeah. I think is it. Hang on.
Hold on, I thought it was. One sec. Sense motive. Deception. Sorry, beg your pardon.
It's against the.
GM attempts a single perception check for you and compares the results of perception DC with the creature.
Okay.
The deception DC.
Yeah, the GM attempts a single secret perception check for you.
Yeah. Well. Okay. That's fine. You can just do a blind one for me.
Sorry. Yeah.
So,
All right. Hang on.
and Hanera as well. Okay, well, both of you could tell when he kind of like he doesn't straight out say no. He just kind of shakes his head a bit and says, "Your mother has her ways of seeking to deal with alliances. Our main goal is to make sure that Terranar Ignis knows that he has potential allies." And that currently House Ignis has attached itself to the hip of House Kaidos. And House Kaidos is potentially the only thing that is keeping it as strong as it is. So if he knows that there are others to potentially side with, he may be tempted to join our side.
Peronar's the one on the council, right? It wouldn't be Duranda.
No, but Duranda does have control of an army about the size of what seems to be attacking House Rexis. These seem to be Duranda Ignis's own loyalists. But
Yeah,
luckily,
I was asking more who the representative would be.
that would be Terranar Ignis, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Luckily, Terranar is in control of the Ignis fleet. They are loyal to him. If Duranda was to somehow become the High Lord, that would open up a channel for potential danger to any coastal cities owned by any of the High Lords. And a fleet the size of Terranar Ignis's, under the control of Daeron Kaidos, well, he might as well take over the entire of Adana.
So, one thing I feel I should share with you. Over in Kelris, I did meet with Duranda Ignis.
You betcha.
He claims to seek to attack Port Edrin. No, not Port Edrin, Kelris, sorry.
Right.
And reclaim it.
That would explain the cause of this attack. If he could get to Kelrius and besiege it, perhaps with assistance from inside as he used in Anuna, he could solidify his legacy as a potential great High Lord. And that would mean many allies would side with him over Terranar.
He also claimed his father had no knowledge of it, so...
That would explain that as well. His father would certainly have said no, I'm sure.
Do you know much about this Terranar? Is he as much a bastard as his son, or...
Terranar... I have never met the man, but I have known many knights who do know him. He is regarded as a coward, as Darren Kydus' lapdog. He would not do anything without Darren Kydus' permission, and I'm sure that has caused some resentment amongst him. He has always been overshadowed by House Kydus.
Including resentment from his son, I imagine.
As far as I can tell, Duranda regards his father as not taking enough initiative, not doing enough to solidify House Ignis's claim over many parts of Adna.
So, what do you think we should do about it?
Just a reminder, I'm not a representative of House Trisfair anymore. I may be my mother's daughter, but I work for the Adventurers Guild in Port Edron now.
I understand you feel that way, my lady. He says. He leans in closer to you. He says, there are many who see you only for the power of your blood. If they were to marry you, by force, if need, they would have a great claim over your house.
Well, we're hardly going to let that happen now, are we?
What
Yes,
I'm
well, they-
saying is that despite what you think, there are many who would see you as a potential tool, and that means your life is in danger.
I guess, but they'd have to kill Alora and Cecilia first.
Not if they don't marry.
Alora's already married.
Oh, okay.
I,
But she's not the oldest.
although I'm not married to a powerful High Lord, and not in standing to claim your mother's lands currently. You are unmarried.
I'm married to my job.
I understand. What I am partially saying is that now I feel responsible for your protection.
Well, don't. I can protect myself.
Very well. I do offer my service if you require it. But I mostly just needed you to understand my purpose in being here. And just to let you know that this is dangerous land.
Yes, I understand.
I plan to depart this city tonight. I will head north and try and sneak across into House Caden territory. And then finally into House Ignis territory. We may meet again. And if you wish to join me, you are welcome to. But I understand that you also have other arrangements.
Yes, sorry. I'm busy.
Very well.
Tor. You're a shade wielder, right? We got the full regalia.
You know about our ways, about our weapons.
Yeah, unfortunately so. Even came across one of the Ignis lot. Two, in fact.
Aye. Duranda Ignis has many friends that he met serving in the army who turned out to be great powerful warriors and gained shade steel weapons of their own. But not many of his friends possess shade steel armor as I do. I am confident I could handle any of them, or all of them if I needed to be.
Just thinking, before this is all through, decent chance we might come across another. Is there any advice you can offer if we do?
Stay away from them.
And if we can't?
Don't let the blade hit you. That is the only advice I can give.
So the same advice for a regular sword, but with more urgency, pretty much.
It's much more important that you don't even try and block. Shade
Right.
steel weapons can cut through anything but other shade steel.
Right, so kind of like points to the shield in his back. Does that mean this ain't gonna do a lot?
I would not rely on it. Shade steel weapons have been known to cut through granite. Yards of it.
So like, am I better off without the armor?
You are against a shade. Yes, against a shade wielder, you are best just attempting to dodge.
Jesus.
There have been some cases where people have managed to catch a shade steel blade as a last resort. See, it's only the cutting edge that can slice through things, which means if the blade is even slightly off, the sides of it could hit you.
Right.
So people have been known to catch it in their hands, but it is a last resort and not something that people should go into a fight expecting to do.
Maybe try and maybe parry it from the side or something like that.
Yes.
If you can't,
If
I mean, yeah, it's kind of House Witcher kind of gestures vaguely at himself, like I'm not really the dodgy type. If you didn't
That would be
guess,
me.
yeah.
Many shade wielders you come across will not have the armor. They will only have the blade. That means they are weak to any form of damage, effectively. Shade steel armor, however, I would recommend you do not even attempt to engage them in combat. There are weak spots, but they are hard to find and usually require very precise maneuvers.
And lots of probing to figure out where it is.
Yes, exactly. Best thing to do is to try and hold them down. There have been cases where shade wielders with the armor have been overwhelmed by waves of peasants who have held them down and stabbed into their weak spots until they died.
Well, that's a pleasant way to die.
Are there shade steel wielders that are they do not use melee weapons, but perhaps I do not know, shade steel arrows or other types of ranged weaponry?
There are only shade steel blades, as far as we know. No other form of shade steel weapon has ever been found.
I imagine shade steel arrows would be pretty expensive as well, considering the fact that you could just lose them.
Maybe a
They
shade
would
steel
be-
boomerang or something.
They would be some of the most valuable things in our society. A single shade steel arrow, you could cut through stone. You could fire it through a wall and assassinate someone behind it. It would be such a powerful weapon.
Well,
that
I
people
certainly
would
hope that does not
start
become
wars
a
over it.
thing.
But anyway, I'm sure we will cross paths again.
I hope so. You seem like a reasonable chap. Do elves say chap, actually?
What's the elven word for chap? Speak chap and open.
Torval Kane stands up. He goes to leave, and as he does, a couple of soldiers come into the inn. A couple of what seem to be high-ranking House Rex's soldiers. One of them seems to be a noble of his own. Sort of clocks Torval Kane, and the two of them nod at each other. Torval Kane goes up to him, and they sort of like shake hands. They don't like shake their hands as such. They more sort of clasp onto each other's forearms and sort of pull each other tightly a little bit. You hear Torval Kane say, Elian, Tor Elian, it is good to see you here. And the other one says, yes, Torval Kane, it has been a long time. Can I ask? And he sort of looks over to the group, and then he sort of locks his eyes on Cyan. Why you have a House Ignis soldier here? And Torval Kane sort of turns around and looks over to you as well.
I beg your fucking pardon.
A couple of the soldiers in the inn also sort of turn and sort of begin to grab their weapons.
Can I do what was it called? Sorry, no cause for alarm. I
Yes.
attempt to reduce panic. Attempt a diplomacy check comparing to the mobility of creatures in terms of emanation around you who are. It says who are frightened, but I suppose this probably works.
Yeah, give me a diplomacy check. Then tell me what you say when you know what the roll is.
That's pretty good.
Cool.
It's a
What are you gonna say?
33.
You're gonna get up and say something.
Casca stands up, goes to the center of the room, and like, do they all speak common?
Some of them may.
Okay. Please, hold on. Why don't we all just take a seat? It is first impressions can always be a little deceiving. I have traveled with this elf for a long time, and I can attest that he is certainly not someone of House Ignis. In fact, quite the opposite. Please.
Okay. A few of the soldiers sort of calm down, noting your attempt to put everyone down. A few of them keep their hands on their swords. The knight Tor Elian. I'll write that in here. He looks over and says, I have been hunting this man myself for a long time. I think I should know exactly who I'm looking for. He looks over and says, isn't that right, Elduin?
Cascus looks to Cyan with a
Just
kind of...
checking, did we go through that, or?
No, this is completely new to you. You've never heard, you don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
That's not my name. I'm Vanail. I don't know what else to fucking say, other than Ignis hurt a lot of people close to me. So if you're going to insult me with such a claim, you best say it closer.
Torvalkane turns and says, are you sure you haven't mistaken him for someone else? I have not known him for long, but I do trust his word. And Tor Elian says, my friend, you are in House Rex's territory, and you will do what the House Rex's law dictates. I call you, Bannerman. Seize this man.
Can I try a coerce?
You want to coerce him?
Like, it's not necessarily a horribly aggressive move, right?
Coercing is an aggressive move. Definitely. You're trying to bully someone into doing what you want.
Okay, instead, can I try like a lie and use charming liar?
You can do what you want.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So charming liar. So what are you saying?
You cannot take this man. He is under guarantee of. He is on a diplomatic mission. It's not a lie, actually. I suppose. I can embellish it, right? But, he's on a diplomatic mission on behalf of what was his name? I'm so
Merchant
sorry.
Prince Axos.
Axos Kutabad. On behest of Merchant Prince Axos Kutabad, we have rights here. You cannot just manhandle us, no matter where we are and what territory we are. I'm gonna try a diplomacy check on that.
Okay.
I'm also gonna make this my lead. There's a 20.
There's a moment where he stops and kind of smirks a little bit and says, well, luckily we are not in human territory. Seize him and seize the rest of them. The guards begin to walk up to you and try to attempt to arrest you all.
Hang on.
Torvalkane puts his hand out and says, not my lady, not Hinera. And he says, very well. For you. Go on.
Would I happen to know if only certain types of people are in elven armies, or
What do you mean certain types of people?
the hang on.
Do you want to go into another call? Or just-
Yeah.
yeah, let's go into another. Sorry, bear with us, guys.
So, Wet Puddings, how do you feel about this situation? Leave a comment below.
Do we reckon he's got a doppelganger?
There's two sides.
Cyan and Scarlet.
Scarlet. Yeah, I suppose.
It's just colour.
Yeah. So
The name for our group.
Vinail and Lenave.
it'll come to us. It'll come to us in a moment of
I
inspiration.
like the bronze boys. But no one liked that.
Cyan's going to kind of look at them all and say, "You claim I'm this elf you've been hunting? This... I forgot his name. Eldrin?
Elduin.
Elduin. You must understand this is a significant error, one that I, of course, do not blame you for, but you have to understand, this isn't even my face." And with that, Cyan's face begins to blur a little and kind of melts away. And what's kind of left is this kind of tanned, fox-like face with grey fur and silver eyes.
Sorry, you cut out a bit
Try that
there.
again.
Okay, Cyan's
Grey fur and silver eyes.
yes.
Yeah. A fox.
Is there a tail?
There is a tail that kind of slumps out, yeah.
Okay, so people did still have secrets. Right.
The guards sort of, the guards are stunned.
I'm stunned.
Tor Elian is like, I don't even know what to do now. He's like, what the hell is that?
A furry.
I
I think the guards sort of go.
certainly not this Eldrin chap that you seem to think I am. I wear this merely for my own protection. That's all you really need to know.
He looks over and says, "If you are not Elduin, then what are you?"
Well, your people call us many things. We call ourselves the Azira.
Azira? That's a myth. There's been
Clearly
no
it's
sightings of
not.
Azira.
There was a while ago, but I doubt Duranda Ignis is going to mention it anytime soon. Considering he butchered us.
Make a diplomacy check.
Hey, I'm gonna add a legend point.
Okay.
So 30.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a think. He, a couple of the guards start to back off a little bit, not quite sure what to do. Torelian sort of puts his hand up and just sort of like clenches his hand into a fist, just sort of signaling to them to sort of back off a bit. He puts his hand down, he steps forward and says, "Duranda Ignis killed your group."
My family, everyone. My village.
Do we know this? I can't remember.
I did tell you
Yeah.
that Duranda
Yeah, we
Ignis
did.
killed. Yeah.
I knew we knew, but I didn't know if it was because character said it. That was all.
Then you must hate Duranda Ignis as much as I do. I have family in Anuna. I do not know about their well-being.
We are seeking to move south to meet the Ignis army. We mean to drive them back or cut them down where they stand. If you let us go and bring men with us, then you can be certain that we will do everything we can.
He leans in closer to you and says, I have been assigned to the front lines. We leave tomorrow. I still consider you my prisoner until we verify this information.
Very well.
A couple of the guards go up and sort of grab you, and and Torelian puts his hand out again and sort of tells them to back off. Although he is my prisoner, he is not to be manhandled. He is to be treated with good faith. But I swear, if anything you have said is a lie, I will have your head on a stake.
Good thing I'm not lying.
Don't even have steak around here.
He kind of prumps and turns around, and the guards begin to escort you all out. They begin to take you down the main street. Are you all going? You're all just like gladly going with them?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tor Elian and Tor fucking Velcane. Tor Velcane's walking alongside you, Hinera, and none of the guards are bothering you. Tor Velcane has sort of just attached himself to your group. He turns to you and he says, "You have surrounded yourself with strange companions."
Yes, I suppose I have. That's the type of people that you get in Port Edron.
He kind of laughs at that, actually. You all begin to walk down the main street, and then you begin to leave the city of Essos out of one of the main gates, and almost immediately it just enters into a large military camp. There are tents, mostly purple and blue, with like sort of gold flags waving on the top of them. A whole bunch of military folk sort of unloading carts and unloading supplies, making fires, collecting wood, chopping it up, repairing weapons and shields and things like that. And he begins to show you around a little bit, and he says, "These will be your tents. Do not take offense that I will be putting a watch to keep an eye on you all. But you are welcome to go anywhere you wish within the camp. But please, do not leave it. I do trust you all, but understand that we are at war, and trust but verify."
Of course.
Very well. Meal times are at dawn and dusk. Feel free to take whatever you wish from the officers' camp and supplies.
Wait, there's no lunch?
There is no lunch. You have to fill yourself up. We'll be marching during that time. Whatever you can carry, eat on the move is for you.
Ooh. Can see why you lot are so skinny.
He just smile at that. He says, "Very well. Please, I understand you wish to help. We will soon see how much you are willing to help. But we will have Durando Ignis's selves before. We will have Durando Ignis brought before ourselves soon. We will be able to take justice on him."
That's the hope.
So he leaves. The sort of you have a couple of tents in a sort of small little gathering. Maybe two people per tent or something like that. And like maybe 3 or 4 guards sort of just situated around just to keep an eye on you. You hear just the hustle bustle of a regular military camp. elves sort of telling stories to each other around the campfire, just generally laughing. You wouldn't be able to tell that they were planning on going to war.
Can I play my lute around the campfire for everyone?
Yeah.
Cyan is gonna look to everyone and is gonna be like, so I fucked up.
The other day, when Ank rolled in something, and I said it smelt like fox poo. Do you know anything about
like
that?
Normal people. We don't. No. Look,
Right.
I lied to you for a good reason.
Again.
I mean, this lie happened first, so really the other lie was again. I understand I'm not helping my case here, but, well, my people kind of have a non-positive track record when people figure out what we are. Usually what happens is people find us and then they kill us. Especially, and he looked at Hanira, High Lords and the families of High Lords.
So it is okay for you to tell me, that I should not wear this face because it is better without, but this whole time you have been hiding yourself anyway?
I've been hiding myself to survive, and in all fairness, I understand the hypocrisy. I'm not saying... What I'm saying is, you hide yourself for so long, eventually you forget what you are. You make something else up, you choose a name, a face, a lifestyle, a personality, and eventually it consumes you.
Speaking of names,
Yeah.
what is it then? Is it
So...
Cyan, Vanessa? I mean, you already had two. I was kind of confused with that to begin with.
So, my real name, well, real name, and he does the whole finger quotes, is Oros. My people, we name ourselves after colors, but our language isn't as varied. I chose my name after my favorite color, and that just translates into common as cyan. Banale is what I would use to trade with elves who came nearby, or hide myself around.
So Oros is Azera for Cyan? Sorry, Cyan's Azera for... that's Oros is Azera for Cyan.
It's more like it's sky, and I liked the color in the sky, and then snowballed into common as cyan.
Right.
Linguistics are strange.
So what, you want to call it? What do you want us to call you then? Oros?
Cyan. Cyan's good, or else will probably get me killed.
And how much do you want to keep this charade up, visually?
Well, I prefer this face. I go by my elven one to keep myself alive. Like I said, my people don't have a positive track record with elves. Elves actually make a lot of stories about us. They think we sneak into your homes while you're sleeping and eat your children. Obviously, you haven't seen me eat any children, so...
You are pretty sneaky, though, to be fair. Probably wouldn't know if you did.
I mean... True.
I'm not. Look,
Don't do that.
I'm not saying I suspect you or anything. Like to be clear, I don't think you're really. I don't really think you don't really come across as the child eating type. But if you were a child eater,
What does
then,
a child eater look like?
like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what a child eater looks like. I haven't known many, if any. I'm not sure. Many, maybe I have. I don't know. Is child eating common?
I don't know, but you know, boogeyman, that kind of thing. If you don't obey if you don't do what your dad says, and you're gonna get taken by the evil fox people.
Hanira's like, oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Well, certainly learned more about each other today.
Does anybody else have any other secrets?
I was going to say,
Right.
anything else? Is anyone else actually secretly something else? Calcifer, are you secretly a bird creature of some sort?
So actually,
Tank actually like a,
so
an
technically, I'm a half orc. Because
No.
my great, I don't know how many great, it goes way back. One of them was a half orc, which technically makes me a half orc, but it don't really count.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if that counts. But,
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry for lying to you all these
hey,
was it weeks?
It's like when an American says they're Irish when
Yeah.
their great grandparent was Irish.
Okay, have we got everything out in the open now? Nobody has anything else.
I'm 3/15ths. Nah, never mind. I'm joking.
Turtle.
I'm 3/15ths turtle.
I'm well.
I
Alright, well-
really came out of my shell.
Yeah, so you've you're sort of kind of under a bit of arrest here, but they're not being threatening towards you.
That's not our first.
So Hanira, you wanted to play loot around the fire?
So yeah, just to, you know, because everyone's telling stories and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, alright, give me a roll.
I'm gonna use ancestral memories to make me train.
Nice.
25.
25. Okay, yeah. So you take your lute out and you begin to play a quite lovely, nice melody that a lot of the elves recognize. Just an ancient sort of ballad. You seem to move quite a few of them, and the fact that you're playing music is quite impressive to a lot of them. Like, a lot of them seem quite shocked that you can even play an instrument. So they're like, you know, they seem to take a rapport to you quite nicely.
Oh, nice.
Alright, so should we end it there then today?
Sure.
Unless
Sure.
there's like any last bits anyone wants to do just before we finish off.
I probably won't do it as the last minute session. We'll do it next session.
Okay, cool. Alright, in that case, thanks for playing, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks for
running.
running.
Running
Yeah.
over which?
Skin.
I hope it was okay. Fun stuff. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next. So yeah, see you later.
Sorry, I did just mean to ask. So is Azura, like,
Azura.
is that just the name for Kitsune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
Is it just a replacement? It's not like the same thing. It's not.
No, yeah. So yeah, yeah, it's just a 0.
Okay. All right. See you later. False face.
Puddings.
That's
Puddings.
the name of the team. That's the name of the party.